Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for the latest news and information from the City of Greensboro. The City of Greensboro will return to the regular residential yard waste collection schedule on Monday, June 1st. Continue to limit yard waste to a total of 10 bags, bundles, or cans. Keep bundles and limbs to 5 feet or less, and cans and bags should weigh less than 50 pounds. Yard waste fees will resume at the White Street landfill on Monday, June 1st. Cars are charged a flat fee of $10 per trip. Vans, passenger vans, pickup trucks, and non-dumping trailers are charged a flat fee of $12 per trip. On Monday, June 8th, the landfill will resume regular operating hours of Monday to Friday from 7:50 a.m. to 4:50 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Residents should continue to call to make an appointment to request collection of any bulk items such as furniture, mattresses, and appliances. To schedule an appointment, call the contact center at 336-373-2489. City employees returned to work on May 26th. The public will be allowed to enter some city facilities from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. beginning on Monday, June 8th. Until then, City Hall or the Melvin Municipal Office Building remains open to the public from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visitors will notice enhanced safety measures in customer service areas, including sneeze guards, physical distancing signage, and additional hand sanitizer. The recreation centers will eventually open following a different schedule. The Greensboro Public Library is accepting book returns at all locations Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Fridays and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Fines have been waived for the period of March 12th through June 29th. Beginning June 10th, libraries will offer curbside pickup for holds. Customers can place up to 10 items on hold for pickup, but there will be no entry to library buildings. A grab-and-go service will start on June 29th. This will allow customers to enter the library, grab materials, check out, and exit. There will be no seating or public computer use during this period. Also, there will be no in-house programs and meeting rooms will remain closed. Concern for the community and employees is the city's priority. The city will monitor and make changes to this reopening schedule if needed, based on local, state, and national trends or additional orders from the governor. Residents are encouraged to continue using remote methods of handling city business, such as by phone, email, and postal mail. Visit the city's COVID-19 webpage for the latest news, cancellations, and service changes. Visitors of the Lake Daniel Greenway will notice the bridge has been removed at the intersection of Elam and Benjamin Parkway. Due to heavy amounts of rain over the past 6 months, damages from flooding and stormwater created unsafe conditions, which resulted in the need to close the bridge. Mixed with recent heavy rains, the bridge sustained additional damage and has been completely removed for safety concerns. The city is assessing the options for moving forward. Please refer to the map for detour information and stay tuned for updates. In an effort to help each of us improve our quality of life, the city has partnered with Cone Health for a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Let's check in with our friends at Cone Health for today's News for Your Health.
Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. My name is Jessica Jarvis, stroke response nurse at Cone Health. I'm here today to tell you about the signs and symptoms of stroke and how to prevent them. The number one risk factor for stroke is hypertension or high blood pressure, and it's preventable by eating a healthy diet, exercise, and taking the medications that are prescribed by your physician. Some of the other risk factors are managing your diabetes, your high cholesterol, and stopping smoking if you're a smoker. And those are all also preventable with healthy diet, exercise, and healthy lifestyle. Heredity is a risk factor, so if someone in your immediate family has had a stroke, you're at risk for stroke. Also, you're at risk if you're African American, and also more women have strokes than men. FAST is a good acronym to help you remember the signs and symptoms of stroke. F is for face. You can ask the person to smile and see if their face droops. A is for arm. Have the person lift both of their arms to see if one arm drifts. S is for speech. When the person talks, you can see if their speech sounds slurred or strange. And T is for time. Time to activate 911 to get the person help as soon as possible. And EMS is the best way to do that. Treatment doesn't normally start with EMS, but they start gathering information that's important for us when they get the patient here to the hospital, as well as they are often able to notify us prior to the patient arriving to the hospital that they think the patient's having a stroke. We have a team called the stroke team that gets notified, and that includes myself and a neurologist and the ED team, and so we're able to get that patient treatment very quickly because we have a team that's focused on stroke. You should never take the person to the hospital yourself because it delays treatment. We see many people aren't able to have the treatments that we're able to provide because their family delayed in getting the person to the hospital. If you're ever concerned that a patient might be having a stroke, it's better to call 911 and get the patient to the hospital than to wait around and see if the symptoms get better, because usually they don't. It's important to act quickly when you think a person is having a stroke because most of our treatments are time sensitive. One medication that we use can only be given within a short amount of time, and many of our other treatments and surgical options are more effective if they're done quicker. I think the most important thing is for our community to know that stroke is a medical emergency. We like to call it a brain attack, so it's important for patients to get care as soon as possible and to call 911 so that they can get treatment as soon as they can. Thank you for joining me today. For more information about stroke prevention and treatment, go to conehealth.com/stroke. And just remember, for any signs and symptoms of stroke, act fast and call 911.
The city's commitment to reducing the spread of the coronavirus is evident in how summer programs will be hosted this year. Find out how kids of all ages can still make the most of their summer break thanks to innovation and collaboration. We'll have that story and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Examples of generosity continue to be seen as we maneuver through the impacts of COVID-19. The NCAA has donated nearly 300 cases of Powerade and Dasani bottled water to Guilford County schools. The donated products amount to more than 7,000 bottles. The drinks were originally earmarked for the Greensboro Aquatic Center for the 2020 Division III NCAA Swimming and Diving National Championships, canceled due to COVID-19. The NCAA received this inventory through its corporate sponsorships with Powerade and Dasani. Instead of returning the beverages, the NCAA made the donation to help support the community after losing the opportunity to host the championship event in March. The school district will use this donation to supplement its grab-and-go and satellite meal programs. In partnership with Guilford County Schools, the Greensboro Aquatic Center developed a curriculum-based Learn to Swim Healthy Lifestyle program for second graders. The program debuted in 2011 and has provided lessons at no charge to more than 6,750 students. To keep the community safe during the COVID-19 pandemic, Greensboro Summer Online will be brought to you by Greensboro Parks and Recreation, Department of Libraries and Museums, Creative Greensboro, and community partners. This is a virtual space where residents can access a wide range of innovative online events and activities. The first series of programs is available now, and more programs will be added throughout the summer. Online programs include story times, book clubs, summer reading, library children's programs, poetry meetups, parks and recreation youth programs, fishing contest, virtual theater productions, online book order with curbside pickup, and Start Smart athletic programs. After a thorough review of CDC and North Carolina recommended protocols and procedures, the city determined it cannot currently mitigate risks to effectively and safely manage traditional in-person programs and events. Traditional summer programs will be canceled or transitioned to online. Canceled programs include summer camps, in-person library visits, swim lessons, summer night lights, and energy at the park. Residents who have paid for programs will be contacted about refund options. In other virtual offerings, the Music for a Sunday Evening in the Park or MUSEP concert series will return virtually. July 19th kicks off the 41st season of this popular free event. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office of Arts and Culture, is committed to producing the series either in person at locations around the city or on Facebook Live, depending on the best practices for safe gatherings. The first two events, July 19th and July 26th, will be streamed live. A final decision on in-person or streaming will be posted at least 2 weeks prior to the remaining concert dates. Greensboro's Chief Creative Economy Officer, Ryan Deal, says we are closely following state and local health guidelines to determine whether the concerts will be hosted traditionally or streamed live on social media. We also realize social distancing and gathering restrictions may require adjustments to the artist lineup and rehearsals. To review the MUSEP concert locations and performers, visit the Creative Greensboro website. The governor's stay-at-home orders has made it difficult for volunteers to maintain their usual schedule of activities. Coming up after the break, we'll introduce you to the executive director of the Volunteer Center and learn about their contributions during COVID-19. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. If lending a helping hand is something that appeals to you, there is an agency in Greensboro that has been around for decades. They host a variety of events which could always use volunteers. Joining me now to tell us about the Volunteer Center is Carly Swaim. She is the Executive Director of the Volunteer Center. Hello, Carly. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Carla. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And thank you for joining me.
Absolutely.
For those who are not familiar with, tell us about the Volunteer Center and why is volunteerism so vital?
The Volunteer Center has been around here since 1963 in this community, and we are all things volunteerism. Whether you're an individual, a group, a church, a corporation, we align you with volunteer opportunities to give back. And volunteerism is at the heart of this community. This is a very giving community. The philanthropic spirit is felt throughout, and the volunteers giving back of their time is so valuable because you can't get your time back.
Absolutely.
And it's really just a great organization that allows people to align with their passions.
1963 is a really long time, and that really puts you at the core. As you said, you're at the heart of the community. COVID-19, I'm sure, has made some adjustments in terms of what you do and how you can dispatch folks. How would you define the role of the Volunteer Center and the response to COVID-19?
Anytime that an emergency happens in our community, we are tasked to become the Volunteer Emergency Response Center, which means that we shut down regular business and we open up solely to mobilize volunteers to address that emergency. Obviously, our emergency now is COVID-19. So we have been mobilizing thousands of volunteers, mostly to align with direct services, basic needs, food, shelter, toiletries, etc. We have also been working with Guilford County Schools to make sure that all of the weekend food bags go home and continue to go home even through the summer.
Oh, that's wonderful. And that is something people probably aren't aware of because you're really behind the scenes, but you're such a vital role in the middle of all of this organizing and mobilizing of these resources and getting those out to the community. Now, I can sense that the pandemic has not prevented you from hosting events, and now we can do so much virtually. So tell me about the virtual human race.
So the virtual human race is our 26th annual human race. It's a staple in our nonprofit community, and we couldn't go without doing it because it supports 75 to 100 different nonprofits in our community alone. And it's about fundraising for those nonprofits and making sure that they have the support that they need. And right now, that's more important than ever. And so we decided that we were going to allow people to sign up to run, walk, roll, wag their tails for our four-legged friends from June 13th through the 19th. Record it, take your pictures, do all kinds of fun things. And then we're going to celebrate it virtually on June 20th. We're going to have the mayor there. We're going to have a lot of our sponsors. It's going to be really great, a celebration.
Nice. And I think the virtual option has really enabled us to stay connected within the community.
Absolutely. And I think that this is going to happen now after this. Like
Okay.
virtual is going to be a big thing, I think, from now on.
Wonderful. I look forward to seeing that. And you are right now gearing up for a stellar event coming up in the fall, which is intended to also be another fundraiser. Can you give us a preview of what you have in store?
So we traditionally host a volunteer recognition luncheon in the fall. This year it's going to be bigger than better than ever. We are enhancing a lot of options for that event, and we want to celebrate all of our humble heroes, especially now out in our community, that are stepping up when our community needs it the most. I want everyone to stay tuned because we have a lot of fun announcements with that, but definitely going to be something that you want to look into.
And I'm looking forward to that. And I've heard a few of the ideas that you are sharing and have lined up. So I know that's going to be a really great opportunity once again to bring the community together and spotlight volunteerism. It is a little early to be thinking about MLK Day, but you also have a major event that you do each year. So what do you have in store coming up for MLK Day of Service?
So MLK Day is actually January 18th, 2021. Yes, we are already talking about 2021, and that is a day of service and bringing our community together around service and celebrating the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his thoughts of a beloved community. And we traditionally host it at the Coliseum, and we look to be doing that again this year. And we usually have about 3,000 to 4,000 people coming out to do hands-on service. Community art, career fair. We also use that time to clean the entire Martin Luther King Drive in our community.
Wow, that is a lot. 3,000 to 4,000 people coming out to give of their time and really give back to the community. That's very impressive. Now, your agency, the Volunteer Center, we'll keep plugging that for people. I can't imagine how they don't know about all the things that you do, but you are connected to several organizations. Who are some of your key partners?
So we work with about 100 different agencies at any given time, and especially now with COVID-19 response, we work a lot with your food providers, your Backpack Beginnings, your Out of the Garden projects, but we also work with a lot of people, or a lot of agencies that work with that vulnerable population, like your Senior Resources of Guilford and various organizations like that. But we're always working with any type of organization, and it really runs the gamut of the volunteer opportunities that we have available, from packing backpacks for the weekend for the kiddos to, you know, walking dogs at the animal shelter and all in between. So it's a great organization, again, that if you want to align with your passion and give back to our amazing community.
Wonderful. Well, Carly, we are all out of time. Do come back and see us. Thank you for taking the time with all the volunteering and coordinated efforts that you oversee. We appreciate you stopping by to tell us about the Volunteer Center, and we are looking forward to hearing more about the fall events that you have coming up. So do come back and give us updates.
Absolutely. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Greensboro City Manager David Parrish presented City Council with a $613 million recommended budget for fiscal year 2020-2021. The recommended budget maintains the current city property tax rate of 66.25 cents per $100 property valuation. Water and sewer rates will remain the same, and there will be no significant fee changes. There also will be no reduction in full-time staff positions. The recommended budget includes a reduction on building maintenance projects, reduced debt service contributions, reduced outside agency support, and there's a hiring freeze. The city manager recommends deferring the $500,000 in participatory budgeting Greensboro projects for 1 year. Greensboro Transit Authority has a $1.4 million deficit, and it's recommended to be offset with proposed fixed rate changes, but no fare increases. The City Council will hold a budget public hearing on Tuesday, June 2nd. Residents who want to participate and provide feedback about the budget can submit their comments by emailing City Council. Comments will be posted on the city's website the following day. The manager's PowerPoint presentation and recommended budget document can be viewed on the city's website. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight. But first, we have a special message from Mayor Nancy Vaughn regarding the coronavirus.
Hello, I'm Mayor Nancy Vaughn.
And I'm City Manager David Parrish. And we will continue to monitor the spread of COVID-19 and coordinate with the state and county officials. And the recommendation is to wear the face cover in public settings where other social distancing measures are difficult to maintain.
Be sure to wear the face cover correctly. Securely cover your entire nose and mouth. You can remove your face cover when you are not in a public place, including your car.
Remember to practice social distancing even while wearing a face cover. Homemade face covers can be washed. Inspect it often and replace it if it's torn or degraded.
As a community, we've been tested before and we've always come through stronger. We will get through this together.
And when communicating, please rely on facts, not fear. Thank you.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. The Greensboro Police Department has resumed fingerprinting services by appointment only. The 20-minute appointments are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The lobby of police headquarters remains closed, so those in need of fingerprints will be subject to the following guidelines. Only one person at a time is allowed inside the building. Children or other persons will not be allowed to enter the building with you. All persons will be required to wear a mask or face covering upon entering the building. If you arrive after your scheduled time, you will not be allowed in and you will have to reschedule your appointment. Please have all the paperwork and identification you need with you upon entering the building. You will not be allowed to exit the building to retrieve the information once your appointment time has begun. If you are sick or you are displaying symptoms of being sick, you will be asked to return at a later date. Appointment times will not be moved or adjusted. GPD employees will wear a mask and gloves during each appointment. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO Shout Out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO Shout Out. This week's shout out goes to the Greensboro Virus Relief Fund. In its latest round of funding, the Greensboro Virus Relief Task Force granted more than $37,000 to 5 local nonprofits. Over the past 2 months, the task force has granted more than $2.1 million to nearly 100 local nonprofits, providing services to thousands of residents impacted by the coronavirus. In an effort to quickly respond to community needs, volunteer task force members review dozens of applications from local nonprofits each week. The task force is trying to raise an additional $1 million, and the community is encouraged to continue making donations. To make a donation, simply visit unitedwaygso.org or text the word virus to 40403. As more places continue to open, please remember to wear your face covering, wash your hands often, and wait 6 feet apart. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro. And now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.